Have you ever loved someone so deeply that no matter how much you prayed, no matter how many nights you cried, and no matter how hard you tried to let go, they still stayed in your heart? You waited for a sign. You kept hoping Allah would make them yours. But instead of bringing them closer, life kept pulling them away. And now one question keeps hurting your heart. If they were never written for me, then why did Allah let me love them this much? Listen carefully. Sometimes Allah places one person in your heart, not to give them to you, but to reveal the wounds, fears, and emptiness hidden deep inside you. And sometimes the pain of losing them is not rejection. It is Allah's protection. Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson may completely change the way you see this heartbreak and heal the part of your heart that still cannot move on. Allah put them in your heart to expose what was hidden inside you. Sometimes Allah allows one person to enter your heart, not because they are meant to stay forever, but because through them, He wants to show you something about yourself that you were never able to see before. Before this person came into your life, maybe you thought you were emotionally strong. Maybe you believed your heart was stable, your feelings were under control, and your peace was something no one could touch. But then this one person appeared, and suddenly everything inside you began to change. Your mind started thinking about them day and night. Simple moments began to remind you of them. A message from them could make your whole day feel bright, while their silence could make your heart feel heavy. Their presence began to affect your emotions in ways you never expected. And slowly, without even realizing it, your peace started depending on them. If they replied, you felt calm. If they became distant, you felt restless. If they showed care, you felt happy. If they pulled away, your heart felt like it was breaking. This is the moment where Allah begins to reveal something deeper. The issue was never only about that person. The real issue was what their presence uncovered inside your heart. Sometimes Allah places someone in your life like a mirror. Through them, He shows you the parts of yourself that were hidden beneath the surface. Maybe He is showing you how deeply you fear being alone. Maybe He is revealing how much of your happiness depends on someone else's attention. Maybe He is exposing wounds from the past that never truly healed. Sometimes what feels like love is actually pain looking for comfort. Sometimes what feels like destiny is actually loneliness looking for someone to hold on to. This is why one person can suddenly awaken emotions that feel much bigger than the situation itself. Because they are not only touching your heart, they are touching old wounds, hidden fears, and silent emptiness that were already inside you. Maybe the real pain is not losing them. Maybe the real pain is realizing how much of yourself you had unknowingly placed in their hands. Allah allows this not to break you, but to awaken you. Because what remains hidden can never be healed. A wound you do not see cannot be treated. A fear you never admit cannot be overcome. An attachment you deny will continue to control your heart. Sometimes Allah lets one person enter your heart so you can finally see where your heart has become weak. Not so you stay in pain, but so you begin to heal. This is not punishment. This is mercy. Because through this experience, Allah is teaching you where your heart still needs strength, where your soul still needs healing, and where your trust still needs to return to Him. Sometimes the person was never the destination. They were the lesson. They were the mirror Allah used to show you what was hidden inside. And once you see it clearly, healing can finally begin. Not every strong feeling is a sign. They were written for you. One of the biggest mistakes the heart makes is believing that strong feelings must mean something is destined. Just because someone stays in your mind, just because your heart feels deeply, just because their name keeps returning to your thoughts, does not automatically mean they were written for you. Sometimes we confuse intensity with destiny. We think, If I feel this much, surely this must be a sign from Allah. But feelings alone are not always a sign. Sometimes they are simply emotions. Sometimes they are wounds. Sometimes they are loneliness taking the shape of one person. A strong feeling can come from many places. It can come from the timing of when they entered your life. Maybe they came during a lonely season, when your heart was already feeling empty. Maybe they came at a time when you were emotionally vulnerable, tired, or searching for comfort. And because of that, your heart held on to them more deeply than it normally would. This does not always mean they were written. Sometimes it simply means they arrived when your heart was most open. There are moments when the mind creates meaning around a person because it wants certainty. You begin to connect every feeling, every memory, every small coincidence to the idea that they must be the one. But not every deep connection is destiny. Sometimes a person feels unforgettable because they touched a part of you that was already hurting. Sometimes they remind you of something your heart has been longing for. Sometimes they represent hope more than reality, and that hope itself can become very powerful. This is why some people stay in your heart longer than they stayed in your life. Not because they were meant to remain forever, but because your heart attached meaning to them. A strong feeling can also come from what you imagined with them. Sometimes it is not the person you are attached to. It is the future you built in your mind, the conversations you imagined, the life you pictured, the peace you thought they would bring. And when that future does not happen, the pain feels deeper because it is not only about losing a person, it is also about losing the dream you silently built around them. This is why it hurts so much. But pain does not always prove destiny. Sometimes pain only proves attachment. What is written by Allah does not only come with emotional intensity, it comes with peace. It comes with clarity. It comes with dignity. It does not keep you trapped in endless confusion. A strong feeling that steals your peace is not always a sign. Sometimes it is a lesson. Sometimes Allah allows your heart to feel deeply so you can learn the difference between what you want and what is truly written. Because what is written for you will not only pull your heart, it will protect your soul. It will not force you to live in constant emotional chaos. It will not require you to keep guessing. And sometimes the strongest thing you feel is not a sign to hold on. It is a sign to look deeper and ask yourself, is this peace from Allah, or is this pain from attachment? That question can change everything, because not every strong feeling is destiny. Sometimes it is simply the heart learning a lesson before the real blessing arrives. Sometimes Allah breaks a connection to protect your future. Sometimes the most painful thing that happens to your heart is actually one of the greatest ways Allah protects your future. At the moment a connection breaks, all the heart can see is loss. You only see the silence, the distance, the unanswered messages, the dreams that suddenly feel shattered. You keep asking yourself, why did this have to happen? You replay every moment in your mind. You wonder what you did wrong. You wonder why something that felt so real ended the way it did. But what the heart sees in the present is only a small part of the story. Allah sees the whole future. He sees what this connection would have become months from now. He sees what it would do to your peace, your iman, your emotional stability, and your future home. Sometimes a person looks perfect in the season of feelings, but they are not right for the season of life that comes after, because feelings can hide reality. Emotions can make someone seem like everything you need, but Allah sees their character beyond the moments that touched your heart. He sees the habits you do not yet notice. He sees the wounds they carry. He sees the ways they may affect your future in ways you cannot imagine today. Sometimes, what feels beautiful right now would have become a source of pain later. Maybe they would have weakened your connection with Allah. Maybe they would have brought emotional chaos into your life. Maybe they would have become the reason your peace slowly disappeared. This is why Allah sometimes closes a door that your heart keeps trying to open, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to save you from a future pain greater than the pain you feel today. There are heartbreaks that later become answered du'as in disguise. Years later, people often look back and say, "Ya Allah, thank you for not giving me what I once begged for." At the time, it felt like loss. Later, it becomes clear that it was protection. Sometimes Allah removes a person because they are not aligned with the life He has written for you. The heart sees chemistry. Allah sees compatibility. The heart sees affection. Allah sees consequences. The heart sees the present moment. Allah sees the years ahead. And because He loves you more than anyone ever could, He may break a connection before it breaks you. Sometimes the pain of losing them is smaller than the pain of keeping them. This is something the heart struggles to accept in the beginning, because when you love someone, you naturally want them to stay. But not everyone who enters your heart is meant to enter your future. Some people are lessons. Some people are tests. Some people are mirrors. And some people are simply doors Allah closes, so you do not walk into something that would have harmed your soul. This is why a closed door is not always rejection. Sometimes it is divine redirection. Allah is not taking something away from you. He is guiding you away from what would have taken too much from you later. Trust that if He removed them, He did not do it without wisdom. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. And sometimes the connection that ended was not the end of your story. It was the protection of your future. This pain was never about them. It was about your return to Allah. Sometimes the pain was never really about that person. It only looked like it was. At first, your heart believes the pain is because they left, because they changed, because the connection ended, because what you hoped for did not happen. And yes, that part hurts. But sometimes the deeper reason for this pain is not the person. It is the journey Allah is taking your heart on. Sometimes Allah allows a heartbreak because He wants your heart to return to the one it was slowly drifting away from. There are moments in life when a person quietly becomes the center of your emotional world. Without even realizing it, your thoughts begin to revolve around them. Your mood depends on them. Your peace depends on them. Your hopes begin to depend on them. And slowly, the heart starts expecting from a person what only Allah can truly provide: complete peace, security, emotional safety, inner calm. But no human being can carry that weight. That space in the heart belongs only to Allah. Sometimes Allah allows the pain of separation, so the heart finally realizes where it has been placing too much hope. This is why heartbreak often becomes the beginning of spiritual awakening. The tears that first fall because of a person slowly turn into tears in sujood. The pain that first keeps you awake at night slowly turns into tahajjud. The emptiness that first feels unbearable slowly becomes the space where Allah's light enters the heart. Many people become closer to Allah through pain more than through ease, because pain strips away illusions. It removes distractions. It exposes where the heart has become dependent. And in that broken state, the soul finally begins to call upon Allah with sincerity. Sometimes this heartbreak is Allah's way of bringing you back to dua, back to dhikr, back to trust, back to Him. There are du'as that only come from a broken heart. There are tears that only come from real pain. And sometimes Allah loves those moments, because that is when your heart is most honest. No masks, no distractions, no false strength, just you and Allah. Sometimes the person was never the purpose. The purpose was what their loss would awaken inside you: a stronger connection with Allah, a deeper level of tawakkul, a more sincere relationship with your Creator. You begin to understand that no person can complete your soul. Only Allah can give the peace you were searching for in someone else. Sometimes we think the pain means Allah has taken something away, but sometimes He is giving you something greater, closeness to Him, a heart that now remembers Him more, a soul that now depends on Him more deeply. This is why some heartbreaks become the reason a person transforms completely. They pray more. They cry more sincerely. They trust more. They begin to heal in ways they never expected. And one day they realize something powerful. The pain was never only about losing a person. It was about finding Allah again. Sometimes Allah removes one attachment to save your greatest attachment to Him. Sometimes He breaks what your heart was holding so tightly because He wants your hands raised back toward Him in dua. And one day, you may look back and realize that the very pain you once begged Allah to remove was the same pain that brought you closer to Him than ever before. That is why this pain was never only about them. It was about your return to Allah. The difference between true love and the attachment that drains your soul. Not everything the heart calls love is truly love. Sometimes what we call love is actually attachment. And the difference between the two can completely change the way you see this person, this pain, and even yourself. True love brings peace. Attachment steals it. True love gives your heart calm. Attachment keeps your heart in constant fear. True love helps you become a better person. Attachment slowly makes you lose yourself. This is why it is so important to understand what you are really feeling. Sometimes you are not in love with the person. Sometimes you are emotionally attached to the feeling they gave you, the attention, the comfort, the hope, the idea that someone finally understands you, the fear of being alone without them. Attachment often begins when your heart starts depending on someone for your emotional stability. You begin to feel that your happiness lives in their hands. If they reply, you feel okay. If they become distant, your whole day feels heavy. If they show care, your heart feels calm. If they pull away, your chest feels tight, and your mind begins to overthink everything. This is where attachment starts draining the soul. Because your peace is no longer coming from within, it is coming from their presence. And no human being can safely carry that much control over your emotional state. True love is different. True love does not make you live in fear every day. It does not make you question your worth. It does not make you beg for clarity. It does not make you sacrifice your dignity just to keep someone close. Real love feels safe. It feels respectful. It feels balanced. It does not force you to chase. It does not leave you in endless confusion. Sometimes what hurts the most is not losing them. It is realizing that you had slowly built your identity around them. Your mood, your hopes, your sense of value, your future dreams. All of it began to revolve around one person. And when they became distant, it felt like you were losing a part of yourself. This is why attachment feels so painful, because it makes the heart believe, without them, I am incomplete. But true love never makes you feel incomplete. Real love reminds you of your worth. It adds peace to your life. It does not become the source of your inner chaos. Attachment also creates illusion. It makes small moments feel bigger than they are. A simple message can feel like a sign. A little attention can feel like forever. Silence can feel like rejection. And the heart begins to live inside emotional highs and lows. This is exhausting for the soul. It drains your energy. It steals your focus. It makes your mind constantly return to the same person, the same thoughts, the same what-ifs. This is not always love. Sometimes this is emotional dependence. Sometimes this is the soul searching for security in a place that cannot provide it. Real love leaves room for trust in Allah. Attachment creates panic. Real love says, if they are good for me, may Allah make it easy. Attachment says, I cannot survive if they leave. That difference is everything. Sometimes Allah allows this painful attachment so you can learn what true love is supposed to feel like, because the person truly written for you should not drain your soul. They should not make your heart live in constant anxiety. They should not force you to lose your peace just to keep them. The love, Allah writes, comes with sakina. It comes with respect. It comes with dignity. And, most importantly, it does not pull you away from yourself or from Him. Sometimes this pain is teaching you to separate real love from the attachment that was quietly consuming your soul. And once you understand that difference, healing begins. Why Allah lets the heartbreak stay longer than you expected. One of the hardest parts of heartbreak is not only the pain itself, it is the fact that it stays longer than you expected. You thought a few days would be enough. Then a few weeks passed. Then months. And somehow the heart still returns to the same memory, the same person, the same pain. You begin to ask yourself, why am I still not over this? Why does it still hurt? Why is Allah letting this pain remain in my heart for so long? And sometimes this question hurts almost as much as the heartbreak itself. But sometimes the pain stays because the lesson is still working inside you. Not every wound heals quickly. Some wounds go deeper than the person. Sometimes the heartbreak touches old fears that were already living inside your heart. Fear of abandonment, fear of loneliness, fear of not being enough, fear of being forgotten. This is why the pain can stay longer than the connection itself. Because Allah is not only healing your loss, He is healing the parts of you that this loss exposed. Sometimes the person leaves quickly, but the lesson they awakened takes time. Allah does not rush the healing of a heart that needs rebuilding. Sometimes He allows the pain to remain because through it, He is shaping something stronger inside you. Sabr, emotional maturity, self-respect, tawakkul, clarity. The pain that stays is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is part of your transformation. There are lessons the heart only learns through time. You may not notice it day by day, but slowly Allah is changing you. The version of you that first experienced this heartbreak is not the same version that will come out of it. At first, the pain may have made you restless. Now, it is teaching you patience. At first, it may have made you chase answers. Now, it is teaching you surrender. At first, it may have made you question everything. Now, it is teaching you trust in Allah's plan. Sometimes healing feels slow because Allah is not only removing pain, He is building strength. And strength takes time. Think about how Allah grows a tree. It does not become strong in one day. Its roots grow slowly, deeply, silently. In the same way, your heart is being rooted in something stronger than before. A deeper reliance on Allah, a deeper understanding of yourself, a stronger ability to protect your peace. Sometimes the heartbreak remains because Allah wants you to stop looking for healing in the person and start looking for healing in Him. This is why some people only truly heal when they stop waiting for closure from the one who hurt them. The closure begins when the heart accepts Allah's wisdom. When you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "What is Allah teaching me through this?" That shift changes everything. Sometimes the delay in healing is because Allah is slowly removing illusions. The image you built in your mind, the future you imagined, the version of that person you created in your heart, these things do not disappear overnight. The heart needs time to release what it once held so tightly, and that time itself becomes part of your purification. Sometimes Allah lets the heartbreak stay longer because the pain itself is preparing you for what comes next. The person written for you may require a stronger heart, a calme soul, a more mature understanding of love, a deeper connection with Allah. And Allah is using this season to prepare you. So if it still hurts, do not think healing is not happening. Healing is often quiet. It happens in the unseen, in the prayers you now make, in the tears that soften your heart, in the lessons you are beginning to understand, in the peace that slowly returns in small moments. One day, the same pain that once felt unbearable will no longer control you, and you will realize that Allah did not let it stay to destroy you. He let it stay to rebuild you. Sometimes the heartbreak lasts longer because the heart Allah is preparing you to become takes time. If they were written, you would not have to lose your peace to keep them. One of the clearest signs that something may not be written for you is this: it keeps stealing your peace. You wake up thinking about them. You sleep thinking about them. Your heart is constantly waiting for a message, waiting for a sign, waiting for them to change, waiting for clarity. And in this waiting, your inner peace slowly begins to disappear. Your mind keeps running in circles. Why are they distant? Why did they suddenly change? Do they still care? Am I enough? Should I keep holding on? These questions begin to live inside your chest every day. And without realizing it, this connection starts costing you more than it is giving you. It costs your sleep. It costs your emotional stability. It costs your focus. It costs your self-worth. It costs your connection with Allah. And this is where you need to pause and ask yourself something deeply honest. Why am I losing myself just to keep someone who is not giving me peace? What Allah writes for you should not require you to destroy your heart to hold on to it. Yes, every meaningful connection can come with tests. There can be delays. There can be obstacles. There can be moments of uncertainty. But what is truly written will not make you live in constant emotional chaos. The person Allah has written for you should not make you beg for basic clarity. They should not leave you trapped in confusion day after day. They should not make you question your worth every time they become silent. Real love written by Allah comes with sakina. It brings a sense of calm, even in difficulty. It does not keep your heart in a permanent state of fear. Sometimes we keep holding on because we confuse pain with love. We think, if it hurts this much, it must mean it is real. But pain alone does not prove destiny. Sometimes pain only proves attachment. Sometimes it proves that you are forcing something your soul already knows is draining you. If you constantly have to chase them, if you constantly have to prove your worth, if you constantly feel like you are the only one carrying the connection, then ask yourself, is this really what Allah would write for my peace? Allah does not write something for you that requires humiliation to keep. He does not ask you to lose your dignity to hold on to a person. He does not write a love that constantly pulls you away from your emotional stability. The written person may come with patience, but they will not come with the destruction of your inner peace. There is a difference between waiting with trust and suffering in confusion. Sometimes the heart refuses to accept what the soul already knows. You already feel drained. You already feel restless. You already feel that this connection is taking more from you than it is giving. Yet the heart keeps saying, maybe if I try harder, it will work. But what is truly written for you does not need to be forced. What Allah has decreed does not require you to break yourself to make it happen. Sometimes losing your peace is itself the answer. Sometimes the confusion is the sign. Sometimes the emotional heaviness is the truth your heart is struggling to accept. Because what is from Allah brings peace, even when delayed. And what keeps taking your peace may not be meant to stay. One day, you may realize that the greatest sign was never a dream, a coincidence, or a feeling. The greatest sign was the fact that your heart was never at rest, and Allah may be allowing you to feel that unrest so you can finally let go of what is not written. Because the one truly meant for you will not require you to lose your soul just to keep them. They will come with clarity, with dignity, with emotional safety, with peace. And most of all, with barakah. The person Allah removed was making space for the one truly meant for you. Sometimes the person Allah removed from your life was never the end of your story. They were only a chapter, a lesson, a season, a turning point, but not the final destination. This is one of the hardest truths for the heart to accept, because when someone leaves, it can feel like everything is over. The future you imagined with them disappears. The dreams you silently built begin to collapse. The version of life you pictured in your mind suddenly feels empty, and in that moment, the heart begins to believe a painful lie. Maybe I lost the only person meant for me, but what Allah has truly written for you can never be taken away by timing, distance, people, or circumstances. What is yours by Qadr will reach you, and what leaves your life was never meant to remain in the first place. Sometimes Allah removes one person because they are standing in the space meant for someone better, a space He has already written for the one who will truly bring peace into your life, the one who will not confuse your heart, the one who will not make you lose yourself, the one who will strengthen your deen instead of weakening it, the one who will bring sakinah, respect, and barakah. Sometimes the removal is not rejection, it is preparation. Allah is making room in your heart, room in your future, room in your life for something more aligned with His wisdom. Think about it this way. If your hands are tightly holding on to what was never yours, how can you receive what Allah truly wants to place in them? Sometimes He must first remove what you refuse to let go of, not to punish you, but to create space. Space for healing, space for growth, space for the right person to enter at the right time. And sometimes that right person is also being prepared right now. Maybe they are in their own season of growth. Maybe Allah is teaching them lessons just as He is teaching you. Maybe He is building both of your hearts separately before bringing them together in a way that carries peace and barakah. This is why delay does not mean denial. Sometimes it means preparation. The right person is not only someone you meet, it is someone whose timing is also written, whose growth is written, whose arrival is written. Allah does not only write people, He writes the exact moment they enter your life, the exact state of your heart when they arrive, the exact season in which that connection will flourish. So do not let one closed door make you believe all doors are closed. Sometimes the closed door is simply guiding you toward the one that was truly meant for you. There are people you once cried over who later make no sense to your heart at all. And then one day, Allah places someone in your life who brings a peace you never had before, a calm that does not need to be forced, a connection that does not need to be chased, a love that does not leave you confused. And in that moment, you begin to understand why Allah removed the other person, because they were never meant to stay. They were only making space. Sometimes the heart sees removal as loss, but Allah sees it as alignment. He is aligning your future with what truly belongs to you. Sometimes He removes the person you wanted, so He can bring the person your soul truly needs. And one day, you may look back at this pain and whisper through tears, Ya Allah, now I understand why you did not let them stay. Because the one truly written for you will not come with confusion. They will come with peace. They will come with clarity. They will come with dignity. They will come in a way that feels like mercy after a long storm. And when they arrive, you will realize something powerful. Allah was never taking love away from you. He was protecting the place where the right love was meant to enter. The person He removed was only making space for the one truly meant for you. Ya Allah, if there is someone in our hearts who was never written for us, give us the strength to let go with dignity, replace our pain with peace, replace our confusion with clarity, replace our attachment with trust in your perfect plan. Ya Rab, heal every heart that is silently hurting right now. Heal the one who keeps thinking about someone they cannot have. Heal the one who cries at night and tells no one. Heal the one whose heart still feels heavy from a love that was never meant to stay. Ya Allah, Remove from our hearts what pulls us away from you. Do not let us lose ourselves in what was never written. Fill our hearts with sabr, with sakinah, and with tawakkul. If someone is truly meant for us, bring them into our lives in a way that strengthens our deen, protects our peace, and brings barakah into our future. And if they are not written for us, then remove their attachment from our hearts gently and beautifully. Replace that emptiness with closeness to you. Make our tears a means of purification. Make this pain a means of healing. Make this heartbreak a reason we return closer to you than ever before. Ya Allah, never let us chase what costs us our peace. Guide us only toward what is pure, halal, and good for our soul. And when the right person enters our life, let it come with calm, respect, dignity, and your blessing. Amen.